Hello everybody, my name is Kishore Rajesh and this is Video Bank. Today I have with me Mr. Wells, the department head of history at Basis Scottsdale. He teaches 8th grade world history, AP US history, and capstone Nazi history, and this is his 5th year with Basis Scottsdale. Thank you for being with us, Mr. Wells.
You're welcome. Happy to be here.
And I'm going to ask you a few questions about the different things that happen now that coronavirus has taken over our daily lives and stuff.
Yeah, sure.
The first question is, how has your teaching methodology changed due to distance learning? I know in class you usually use PowerPoints, and with I think most of the time you use PowerPoints, you also have worksheets and primary source documents. How has that changed with coronavirus?
Yeah, so in class, before the coronavirus, we spent a lot of time going through our material through PowerPoints, like you said, and long discussions right across classes, whether it be about primary source material or more content learning. Now, though, it's been a challenge because lecturing on a PowerPoint online is really difficult, right? There's all kinds of obstacles, whether it be the video not uploading or cutting in and out all the time for the video feed. And so what I've opted more so in the past several weeks has been more kind of just hands-on learning, right? Giving students documents or resources and then having them answer a set of questions or sometimes one single kind of essay question to get through that material. Because lecturing online has been a little bit more difficult. And I find giving the students kind of the free range to be more hands-on has been more effective. Back
when school is still in, you used to have written tests and quizzes and DBQs and LEQs, stuff like that. How has that changed? How has it changed the way you give quizzes and tests, not just in your AP classes, but in your non-AP classes?
Yeah, so quizzes and tests have been actually largely the same. For A-Push, we've really just done the mock exam, right, that we just did recently. But for world history, I've just been using the Microsoft Forms application within Microsoft Teams and kind of uploading the questions there and then giving the students any primary or secondary source material that they have to read alongside the questions. And so they would just access the Microsoft Forms test and then access the primary, secondary source documents, and then kind of read through them together as they take the exam. The biggest change really is just timing, right? Instead of just giving kids 50 minutes to finish a test like in normal class, I've been much more lenient kind of across the board with both A-Push and in world history, because again, there's just so many things that might stop a kid from taking a test in a certain 15-minute time frame that's out of their control, right? And so we're trying to be super lenient in that. And I think that's been working out really well, where students can kind of come in and take the test at 9 a.m. or at 4:30 in the afternoon or whatever works for them.
And I know that you have a new daughter. Congratulations on that.
Yes, thank
you. Now that you're at home, how are you balancing work and family?
Well, my wife works in human resources, and human resources is a field that's getting pretty heavily impacted by the coronavirus, right? She's writing policies and things like that pretty much every day for her organization that she works for that deal with the coronavirus. So she has been incredibly busy dealing with that in her job. And so I have had the opportunity, luckily, to sit with my daughter. I sit here building lectures or sometimes helping students. They see this screen a lot, but on the floor right down here in my office, my daughter usually sits on the floor and is playing. She's not right now, she's taking a nap. But I've actually been able to spend a lot more time with my daughter because we've taken her out of daycare and my wife and I are both home all the time. And it's one of the, certainly one of the major kind of silver linings of this whole thing is being able to spend this kind of quality time with my family.
And then what can your students or their parents do to kind of help you in this situation, to help make it easier to grade, easier to just communicate with the students in general?
Honestly, the students have been doing a very good job at staying in contact, right? You've seen it for our A-Push class, right? Students have very commonly posted questions on our channel and been very straightforward about what is or is not working out for them in terms of AP US history. And the same thing can be said for the 8th grade class. Parents have also been very informative about what's going well or what's not going so well for their classes. So honestly, if we can just keep up what has been going on for the past several weeks into the next, 3 weeks or so, then we should be good to go, because the amount of communication that I've gotten from both students and parents has been very positive and has helped me kind of tweak the class a little bit here and there to kind of meet the expectations and the needs of both parents and students.
And then, what is your opinion on the new AP US History exam? So I know it's changed from a multiple choice and free response to just the DBQ.
Yeah, so obviously in a perfect situation, we would be taking our standard test, because I think the multiple choice and the combination of all the sections works really well. I think that the AP history exams does a very good job at kind of drawing out knowledge from what the kids have learned over the course of the year. But in the current situation, I think the DBQ is probably the single best representation of what students have to learn during the year, right? They have to learn how to deal with primary and secondary source evidence, which the DBQ requires you to do. The AP US History requires students to kind of produce content knowledge, which the DBQ requires you to do. And the DBQ really does a good job at requiring students to deal with the critical analysis that historians do. So I think of all of the sections, right, the multiple choice, the short answer, the DBQ, and the long essay, I think the DBQ really is the single best section in terms of representing what students have to accomplish in a given year in an AP history class. And so I think that this kind of changed exam focusing around the DBQ is a good choice.
Thank you again for being part of Video Bytes, Mr. Wells.
Oh, you're welcome.
And I hope you have a great next 3 weeks of school before.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. You too. Good luck with everything you're doing.
You too.